Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dinked episode 4, the casting couch, featuring we got a plethora of people today.
Hello. What's up? What's happening?
We've got the regulars of Puffin and myself. We've got Pavlos of ExWarrior joining us. We've got EmenJay in the far left of our screen, and then Ollie in the middle.
Howdy.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of people today. How you all doing?
I'm pretty
Doing
pissed,
good.
to be honest.
Just chilling, doing
Just
Danish
got to get
things.
out there, you know, make sure there's clear level, clear playing field.
Thanks, Ollie. You good?
Yeah, definitely. Just chilling, working on uni stuff, handing in the bachelor in 2 weeks. So
Ooh.
this is a nice break. Absolutely.
What
I'm doing all right. Just similar stuff. Got uni stuff. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Did get pissed though this weekend, and it was shit. Well, good while it lasted, but the aftermath was.
I can only imagine.
I've got
I've got a good
epic,
story about that if we want to get into that later.
I've got an epic uni story here. So I worked my way through all my GCSEs and did all of that in college.
Is this a story or just like it?
Shut up, Kremer. I worked my way. I was like, I'm gonna go to uni. I took my year's break. Came to uni. Thought, yeah, this is great. Thought that paying. Started to see that $9,000 a year for YouTube lessons was quite interesting and wasn't great. 3 months later, I've quit. I'm out. I'm about $6,000 in debt to the government at the moment. I think worth the experience.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's alright,
least-
man. It's alright.
At least you can say that you went, right?
True.
It went, yeah, that's true.
You can say that you tried.
T-shirt. Didn't need
Now I'm
anything.
unemployed.
Giving up the government. What more can you want?
Pavlos, what's your story about it being out of time?
Oh man. All right. So basically, I was drinking from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. non-stop. It was just beer, but the thing is that whenever my beer was over, someone would just pass me another one. So I'd never stop drinking, never. And I'm not. You could say I'm a lightweight, but I'm not really. Like my tolerance is just low because I don't really drink often. I'm a social drinker, right? So I don't drink often. That's it. All right. So I didn't handle it well. Throughout the thing, it was fun. I was drunk. Great. The next day, though, okay. I woke up. I felt like shit. Nausea, headache, stomach cramps, the lot, everything. I stood up to go to the loo, could not stand. Like, it was dreadful. Never had a hangover like this before, right? So, I was hangover for 2, 3, solid 4 hours while being awake and feeling like shit. And the guy's place I was staying at the night, he had to leave. So I was like, yo, you can stay here if you want. I'm like, no, I need to get up. I stand up, I instantly collapse on the bed. I stay there for 10 minutes. He sits next to me like, are you all right, mate? Do you want me to bring you something? And I was like, oh, I'm not good. I was curling onto my stomach. 5 minutes later, I sit up, I burp. I'm like, I'm all right. I stand up, I get on my bike and leave. I was like, all of a sudden I'm fine. Out of nowhere. I've never had that happen before. From a moment of feeling completely shit to burping and being all right.
Fair enough. Mother Nature herself, to be honest.
That's like the day after barf, It just does something to you.
Made no sense.
It's a little tradition we have on the show for Ollie and Josh is usually we show what we're drinking. Fortunately, we're drinking a fair bit at the moment.
Just lift it all up.
We've kind of got appetizers.
But that's got liver in
whatever else is kind of showing. We're just kind of going through a lot.
Everything.
Myself some beer going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this looks like water, but it's actually because I'm lazy, so I didn't buy any soda for my vodka. So, so I'm drinking vodka and sparkling water, which is called skinny bitches. So yeah, I'm basically a skinny bitch tonight.
Terrific mix.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I can drink to that. So
Yeah.
shot of sours to work.
Yeah, cheers.
Mate,
Cheers.
those sours are fucking dreadful. Honestly, they do not work with me at all.
Sours is just the apple sours. It's just the liquid version of apple hubba bubba, so it's all right.
Pavlos, you know that story you just described?
Yeah.
Imagine that every morning, right? And then you're there. You're living the Emen life, and it's just good. You're riding it.
It's just life, you know.
Life.
Right. We
Alright.
also
Just
we
life, so
actually
good.
completely forgot to have the chat open this whole time. Mantra saying hello, so hello Mantra.
Hey, man, trap.
What's
my
up?
brother, happy birthday, he's turning 17 today.
Kremer still owes 1.3 million to the Bosnian mafia. Please send help. Peter, come home. Scared cry. Peter, bro.
What are you doing here?
It's 1.3 million like Bosnian dollars.
It doesn't matter.
That's money.
Why do you owe the Bosnian mafia?
Let's not go on. Let's not,
No, come on, that's the story, man.
That is
Tell the story, man. Come on.
calling for
Why do you owe
story
the
time.
Bosnian mafia?
Luckily, Pavlos knows how to focus his camera.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, mate. I'm gonna try and fix it up.
But honestly,
Tell this.
honestly,
Why do you owe
We're back.
1.3 million to the Bosnian mafia.
I have to get a rocket launcher somehow.
Bro,
Oh, mate.
Is it not deactivated, Kremer?
you stole the rocket from the Bosnian army?
It's so any
Does it have a rocket in it?
Unbelievable.
Well-
Unbelievable, this man.
it did up until it got to the border.
He pulls it time. Comes in with rocket launchers. You go, where did this come from? You go,
Ah!
I don't know.
Ferrari, I don't know. Ferrari.
We had there was a poster on Twitter from a UKCS player who turned to Valorant coaching, and they put a photo of an F-22 American fighter jet going, how do I get one of these? So I did like a massive paragraph after paragraph just explaining how you can get deactivated aircraft. You can't do an F-22, but an F-20 or F-33 as well because the used the technology up till 2070. So you're going to be unable to get an F-22. However, you can get a British Hawker Hurricane, which was used in World War II to essentially win the Battle of Britain for 1.8 million. I was showing him how to do it and all that. So I was just talking about CS player called F-22, and I was just being a fucking mob. But until then, I was really getting involved with it. Thinking, oh, fuck, this is something I'm just gonna love.
Would you buy a plane, Kremer?
Well, absolutely, in a heartbeat. I don't have to fly.
Can you
fuck it.
fly? Okay, like, that's like a plane.
I can.
So what would your use be for a plane? Because at the moment, right, I'm in a position where legally I can't drive, right? So
Right.
I'm thinking I'm still going to buy a racing car and I'm just going to sit on the driveway with it and I'm going to pretend to race it. So the same principle goes for a plane. Exactly. You get a plane, you put it in the garden, and you just pretend to fly.
Do you know what? I don't think I'd want you to have a license
What,
because
for a plane?
no, for driving. I've seen you drive and it's scary. I'm going to tell the story of the.
Tell the story.
So basically, we did some. We were coming back from Stoke, back to where me and Josh lived, which is a quaint little village, yeah. And along the way, we decided it was a good idea to buy some road beers because we stopped at a Tesco's and they were selling an 8-pack of Thatchers for a £5, and we thought, screw it, fuck it, let's do it. And we were driving back, and I own like a vintage car, no power steering, none of the fun modern amenities that a usual car would have, and that he's learned to drive it. Shut your mouth, okay? It's great. And it got to about 1 o'clock, and we both had about 4 beers. We'd finished the entire 8-pack between us,
Yeah.
whilst driving down the motorway, and it came to the last 20 minutes of the journey. I said, Josh, I can't drive. I'm can't. And Josh said, oh, I'll drive. Because any time we drive anyway, Josh says, oh, I'll drive. And I say, no, Josh, no. And I was so pissed. I was like, yeah, go on, Josh, go on, hop in the car, drive me home. And we got to on the way home, there's a tight 90-degree right-hand corner over a bridge. And because he'd learned to drive in his girlfriend's car, which had like power steering and all of that, he went to turn into the corner, and rather than slow down and go 90 degrees, because it's got no power steering, he couldn't turn the wheel, so we were heading straight out of the bridge onto the motorway. We almost died that night. I couldn't. That's why I never let you drive anymore, Josh. I don't like I gave you a chance, and you.
Tell this story, but what about the time that it was snowing and we're going over the same bridge and you say, let's do a drift. And you pull the handbrake, and we drift, and we do a 4-3. You know in GTA, when you hold your spacebar and you do the full 360?
Yeah.
We did that, but in real life, onto oncoming traffic. Yeah, but there was no traffic, but there could have.
There wasn't.
Alright.
It wasn't.
There could have
But
been.
did you not feel exhilarated?
I did feel
Yeah, that's the
exactly. But
Point.
there could have been.
Nah, I've got a couple hundred hours on Project Cars. I'm perfectly fine to drift. It's alright. I've got multiple hundreds of hours on racing games. I'm a racing driver. I don't need a license.
I could drink to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know.
We have the next upcoming Lando Norris in this call.
I don't have a license. I'm not driving.
Oh, sorry, George Russell. I mean, Ollie is basically George Russell, like before.
Oh, George Russell.
Yeah.
It's George Russell.
No clue.
So you don't. He's.
You know,
Hey Siri.
just say Hamilton.
George
Yeah.
Russell.
You're the only person who actually uses Siri.
Yeah, but because I can't spell.
My
Kremer.
Siri, you can set the nationality.
Oh, it's a British racing driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Kremer, you can set the nationality of your Siri.
Oh, it's Williams.
Indian.
Uh,
Siri is Indian, and it's very exciting. Because you say, hey Siri, and he goes, hello, Josh. It's very exciting.
How are you doing today?
How are you doing today? Is this what I interview?
Oh god.
Puffin and Palos, can you guys drive?
sorry, I can drive. Yeah, I can. I've got a
Oh
license.
yeah, same.
Yeah, me too, bro.
But I don't want to drive in prison. I mean, I've seen some videos on YouTube and it's in the wrong side. So.
Have you guys got any exciting racing stories, or are you?
They've got to be exhilarating. They can't be like.
Can't be shit story.
Can't be shit.
Story.
It's a shit story, so I'm not gonna go for it.
Yeah, mine is shit as well. Sadly,
Oh man.
I'm a proper driver, you know.
I can't.
Lumen's saying, I'm scared for my life, and he's left us out to drive.
Actually, no, I've got a great story. Though I hope my ex-officers aren't watching this because I could be in trouble. No, I can't be in trouble anymore. I'm no longer in the military. But yeah, so it was a chill day in the base. FYI, for people not knowing, I was in the Navy for 14 months. Anyway, so it was a chill day in the base. I think it was like a public holiday or something, so not many people were around. It was just us, the officer on duty, and the sergeant on duty. So it was like, I don't know, 6 p.m. The time that you had to like bring down the flags. So someone like asked the officer, "Can I take the keys for the car to go take the car, get the flags down?" Okay, he got the car. He went to the other side of the base, brought the flags down. When he came back, he just told 4 other people, "Hop on." All right, they took the car. They so in the base, there's like 2 sets of roundabouts, one after the other. They're big roundabouts, right? So I was playing poker with some other mates, and we suddenly get a call. Yo, we need help. The car fell in a ditch. And we didn't instantly get up. We were like, okay, let's just finish our hand. But as soon as we finished the hand, we like ran straight to where they were. The ditch wasn't just a mere small ditch. The road, there's a roundabout, and there's a road coming down like this. There's a 2-meter drop ditch with trees and bushes. The car was in the ditch, underneath the trees, in the bushes. Somehow it was not smashed to pieces. Somehow it was fine, but it was in the ditch. So in my base, we also had special forces, right? So these guys are frogmen. These are like people that you're not supposed to see and know, but they are in our base, and that was their training grounds. They must have heard the noise, and you saw like 5 frogmen come up, and we're like, what the fuck did you guys just do? All right. So what I had to do is try and convince the guys to help them, because the fucking others were just like, they just ran off to like avoid responsibility. And I was together with the guy that was the driver, trying to convince the guys to not tell on us to our commanding officer and help us bring that, bring like the car on top. To bring the car back on the road. So they just called on the new frogman recruits, which weren't proper frogmen yet, but we're in training. Navy SEALs, if you want to call them, but they're called frogmen. So they like brought things up. They like, I don't know, they started like getting their knives out, breaking up the trees, and for some reason they just like broke off pieces of wood to put under the wheels, and miraculously all of them together managed to bring like the car back up. And that, like, it was not a small car. It was like a full-on truck, right? So it was like a pickup truck, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they did that. So apparently what the guy did, it was like he was driving full speed towards the roundabout, didn't brake in time, and he had to evade the roundabout, went left to the side of it, then he went right again. And the next time around, when he had to straight on forward, he went a sharp left. The car went on two wheels. It sideways went into the ditch, narrowly missing an electric pole.
Yeah, so we've got.
I have no idea how they did that.
So we've got another exciting driving story. Me and Josh have a lot of driving experiences together. Me being always one that's driving.
Before we start, we just...
Oh yeah, absolutely. Drink to that story.
Yeah,
that
I can drink to that story.
I didn't involve frogmen in your driving story.
That's like putting it on a next level. I have high expectations for you guys now, Ollie.
I don't think I can ever top like frogmen and like high military level people coming and helping me. I'm obviously into my cars and all of that. And it was me and Josh were heading somewhere, and we live in the countryside. So there's always really tight roads, narrow roads, ditches to the side, trees everywhere. And I've always driven quite fast cars, yeah. And I've never been the most responsible driver, you know. So we're coming up with we've left my house, and I've been doing the speed limit all the way down these roads, and we come to this.
That's a debatable subject.
I mean, it's within the 10% that I'm allowed anyway, so you know.
Right.
And we come up to this pitch black country road, you know, single lane each side, a good 2-3 meter ditches either side, trees side. And we're doing about, I'm doing about 90. I'm doing about 90.
You're doing more than 90. You're doing about 110.
I remember doing about 110, 120. And we're coming up to this it's a good like 40, 50 degree corner, you know. And it's pitched on one side. It's on the side that we're driving. So we come up to this corner. I'm doing 100, maybe a bit more probably. And I get the car up on two wheels, and you can feel that there's no clearance.
The light to say,
oh shit!
Car's on the wheel. There's something going on, and we're like this, and I'm fearing for my life.
But
it was exciting.
It was exciting. As I said, I'm a race driver. I'm all right. I'm good, and I managed to get the car on two wheels, and I just look over at Josh. I'm like, Josh, man, we've just almost died. We've almost just died. I'm grabbing the steering wheel. I'm visibly sweating because for a good 30-40 meters, we've just been sitting on two wheels.
The thing is, right? So I've got another one, and this is a story where I wasn't even driving. So
it's never your driving.
It's never when I'm driving, but it's when someone else is driving. So I don't know. Anyone that knows I cast and whatever, I did an event in Switzerland a couple of years ago. It was called the Supreme Masters, blah, 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 blah. It's one of the only LAN events I ever did before COVID, and before the world went into that shithole. So I was at this event, and the guy that was running the event, his name's Julian, and he's like a really nice guy. And Vexed were playing at the event, the UK team Vexed. And at the time, they had like Ras, Astro, like some really, really good players. Right. And they needed picking up from the airport. And we were sitting there, super pissed. All of us were sitting there drinking. We're all setting up stuff.
Oh no!
And Julian goes, "Someone needs to go and pick up Vexed from the airport."
Oh no!
I can't pick up Vexed. He says, "Josh, can you drive?" And I said, "Well, I can drive, but I don't have a license." And he said, "I don't fucking care. I don't care if you have a license. Can you drive?" And I said, "I can drive. However, I don't feel comfortable driving your car. Because if I drive your car and I crash it, then I'll feel very bad.
Was this a different country or the UK?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
So you're going to drive in another country as well on the other side of the road?
Even more illegal.
He goes, bro, I don't care if you have a license or not. If you can drive, go and pick up Vex.
Oh, fuck
And I'm
no.
like, bro, I do not feel comfortable driving your car. Like, and he was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable driving your car. So he asks everybody else, and a player, I'm not going to say his name, but a player that plays for Blocksport Lions, he says, bro, can you drive? And he goes, I passed my test this week, but go on, man. So Julian gives him the keys, and he goes, go and pick up Vex. So this guy drives to the airport to pick up the Vex team, drives all the way back, Vex turn up at the venue, and the guy comes back over, and he goes, Julian, bro, I've got Vex, but I got a speeding, the camera flashed. And Julian goes, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I was driving down the freeway, I did 130, and the camera, it flashed. So basically, long story short, he did way too fast down the freeway, got a speeding ticket, and Julian got a speeding ticket for like 130 miles an hour.
You're back quickly.
But yeah, so they got back. They got back. They were alive. But yeah, I probably was better off driving.
I mean, to be fair,
For
what?
the first time, I probably would have been better off driving.
I mean, what? To be fair, what? That's Switzerland. So that's in kilometers. So it's 130 kilometers. It's about 80.
Is the moral of the story?
And it's funny because Sweden are really strict on their like laws. Switzerland, sorry, are really strict on their road laws. So that would have been €1,000 ticket.
Yeah, that's
and points on his license.
You know, when we did that event, we didn't get like your average event. You get put up in hotel rooms, you get put up wherever. We were in a small town in I can't remember what the name was. I can't remember. North Switzerland. We'll just call it North Switzerland.
Right.
In the mountains, right? And we're in this small town. There's a big venue, and it was called the Pentarama, and it was like a big venue. And all of the talent and all of the people that were working the events, instead of putting them up in hotels, they put Maniac, who was working the event, they put him in a nice hotel. But everybody else, they said, oh yeah, like you stay at like people's houses and whatever. And me, Sir Danny, Pavlos, do you know Sir Danny, the caster?
Yeah.
Me, Sir Danny, a guy called Kai, a guy called Pumba, who was the observer. We were allocated a house to go and stay at. And we went there and we turned up. And it was this guy called Mr. Schmidt. And we went into his house and we were like, hello, Mr. Schmidt, nice to meet you. And, his house and, whatever. And he let us stay in his house and he said, yeah, you go into the spare room, you go into the living room. And we all stayed there. Basically, Mr. Schmidt was the priest at the local church. And in his room, he had like a certificate of like Holy Bibleness. And it was like, Mr. Schmidt, priest of local church, blah, 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 blah. And we got to stay at his house. And the long story short, they had asked people in the local area if we could stay in their house, and the priest of the local church had said, yes, I will have people stay. So me and two of the other casters and the observer stayed at the local priest's house. And we just stayed
I
at the
love
priest's
it.
house, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was so much
Brilliant.
Can,
Throughout it, I'm sorry, but throughout it, you sounded like Domcasts.
Well, you know,
You go to an event and they put you in a hotel, it's rubbish. If you're not staying at the local priest's house, you don't want to go.
There's
You
no
don't
That's
matching.
what you gotta be. That's what you gotta be.
Can we get a big shout out
really
to can we get a big shout out to Convict UKCS in the chat for saying Pavlos being fucking Zlatan?
Convicts, yeah.
Surprisingly enough, that is not an original comment. Yeah, I kind of get that a lot, and I had that a couple of times today as well. But cheers.
Let's quickly catch up.
I'll take that as a compliment. What's that?
we've got a lot going on.
We got a fun
Fun
fact.
fact.
We say from the UK, but our location remains unknown because Peter has been found guilty of 21 war crimes with civilians in Ukraine, and owes the UK government 200,000 tax evasion. The match is going really to out him.
How have you not been on an episode of a Can't Pay Take It Away?
I'm scared.
That's
Recently, Kremer, I've been trying to work the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. It's a very fine line. It's a very fine line. And if you cross it, you go to prison. But if you stay on the right-hand side of it, you're in the money. You're in the money, Pavlos. You're in the money.
All right, I'll take that advice.
That's results of dry now being hunted by the Bosnian mafia, the Ukrainian government, and the UK government. Oh, this is from your military story, pals. One of the guys I know from the military got his M5
D5
458T DEEZ stuck. No clue what that is.
It's like a big
No,
military.
after that story,
EmenJay kind of looks
we'll
like...
be after. The Cypriot army will be after us. The Cypriot National Guard will be after us.
Oh, nice.
He's been beaten nuts, fucking hell.
I've been in this room for 10 years. I've been waiting for this podcast.
That is low. You do look quite white.
Well fucking done.
We've got done this ring light off.
No, you don't. It doesn't change.
I'll
It
tell
doesn't
you.
change.
We look even worse.
No, it doesn't change.
Turn it off,
Can you
please.
move the tissue from the ring light? We've got a game. We've got a game
Right,
of
so
when
turn the ring light off.
you don't look any better. You look worse. You look worse.
To be honest, a lot of you look pretty white.
Is your brother friendly ghost sitting next to me or like?
You're like, if I'm not even that pale.
Yes, you are.
not.
Yes, you are. No.
Pale? I don't think I'm that pale.
Peter, how
When have you last been out in the sun?
have you been got by your own
We
brother?
went to the pub today.
Thanks to me.
What else we got? Kremer getting on the details of UKCS. Yeah, Convict. I know Convict. I used to play with him quite a bit. Yeah, just owned by my own brother. Turns out that wasn't meant to be.
Disgusting.
I wanted to say these nuts.
These now.
To the man that said I haven't been outside, we went to the pub.
We did just go to the pub.
We went to the pub. Like,
It's lovely. It's lovely.
and it was a lovely pub, and we got to sit next to a pond, and it was really cute.
Yeah.
It was a screaming child for like 5 minutes, and then it was great. I mean,
It
what
was
more?
really cute.
What more could you want?
The gun left.
It was
like
hot.
knock off Kid Laroi. Kremer's been asking.
It's like to be fair, you guys are getting all the bullying here. I'm perfectly fine sitting there like a
Because no
normal
one
human
knows who
being.
you are.
It doesn't matter. No, that's great.
Oh man.
I don't. Who are you?
I don't
Gooey
know.
Louie. I don't know. Ferrari?
Maybe.
Are you BMW? I don't know.
We're actually doing pretty well for viewership. I thought we'd do really shit.
Oh, what the? Yeah,
Look,
nice.
see, exactly. Thank you. I've just been called a sexy fucking hunk by Louis. That's great.
That's my Kremer's brother. That's biased.
Yeah, the same.
Why is that biased?
The same.
Bias.
The
Nah, it's
same
not.
kid who's been after a glasses prescription for 3 years and still doesn't wear glasses. So.
I mean, Louis, you need to get glasses to be
You
fair.
talk to ExWarrior on Discord, should be considered cool. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Even a sentence with Pavlos makes you incredibly cool.
Just say thank you
I
to
mean,
X and
it's-
Dean for calling
it's the
us
Who are
Serbian-
you?
lads.
He's from Bulgaria. He's from
Like
Bulgaria.
it is the Serbian Zlatan. I mean,
When are we
No.
gonna?
oh, what?
Who is
where's he from?
Triumphal Galil?
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Identify
What are
yourself.
you doing?
Bloody Comstars good with that.
Where are we going? Okay. I'll just stand in below. I don't know.
Minecraft
Ollie,
points.
so-
That's from you, so
Ollie,
you're
you're
Minecraft noob.
Yeah, sorry.
Honestly, I
Yeah,
couldn't do
yeah.
anything else.
You're not
Yeah.
Serbian, are you, Paplos? I fucking
I
forgot.
am not. I'm Cypriot. I'm
Cypriot.
half Cypriot, half English.
Yeah, that's how it was, yeah.
I'm on the Wikipedia Discord.
I see, mate. I see.
No, I've got look, Louis. Look,
Yeah,
this
you're
is
famous,
you.
mate.
I'm about to write your name. Lou.
Are they going hot tub streaming? Are they hot tub streaming up this fucking call? What?
Louis, you spelled it wrong.
I've spelled it how it sounds phonetically. As if you didn't know, I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell for shit.
I'm also dyslexic.
So I've spelled Louis, Louie.
You're just retarded.
Louis.
I don't want to be on camera anymore. You two have fun.
Oh no.
I told you, I'm taking over the show.
Yeah, Josh doesn't need to be in the show. His foot needs to be in the show.
God damn. Okay, well, do you want to talk about some Counter-Strike now, guys?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes, let's do it. We went on a bit of a tangent, but we're back.
I do
Yeah.
apologise. That's my fault. I do apologise.
All right. Well, let's hit it up with the big pressing topic right now: the NIP versus Anonymo. You know, rematch scheduling.
Ooh.
That might be Anonymo. We need to have a drink.
You have it.
Alright.
Okay, let's drink before drink. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
You get your shot. Can you get your shot, please? No, that's not a shot. That's just beer. no. Oh, you're.
All right, so Pavlos, can you kick us off here? What happened?
Oh, okay. So I didn't really get in depth with it, but basically what happened was NIP was playing against Anonymo in the RMR event of Europe, Flashpoint, where I believe they were in a knockout stage of a game where they were experiencing packet loss issues throughout the second map. I don't know the exact specifics. I wasn't the kind of person that really wanted to dig into it because it wasn't really my issue, and I didn't really care too much. But basically, what happened is that some decisions that happened towards that event were made after the game ended. I believe NIP wanted to ask for some sort of a rematch to take place, but that request was only made after the game had already ended and after they had already lost. So many were. Sorry?
You're saying NIP are noobs.
I am not saying that.
On the record, you're saying NIP, they're rubbish.
I am not saying that.
Are you sure?
Allegedly, they could be rubbish.
Allegedly, they could be rubbish. That's true.
Allegedly.
I'm thinking that's what you're saying, Pavlos.
But yeah, it was in the first round.
That's an approximate amount of investigation that Pronogo would put into his journalistic work.
But yeah, basically, it was the initial match. Like and in this sense, like NIP lost the match against Anonymo. At least on the Mirage map, it was noted and documented that they had up to 40% loss on the server, and then afterwards they wanted to like replay the match. And
I don't know why they didn't just shoot back, man. I don't know. Why?
Yeah, and honestly, yeah. Can we get your reaction, Josh and Louis, Dewey, and Huey gang over there?
Wow, that's toxic behaviour.
When do we get to talk about Devon cards?
Oh man.
Shut up. That's not
I
how.
also specifically request we don't talk about Dom.
We specifically requested
Yeah,
To not talk about
because
Dom.
it stains the casting community. Yeah.
The greatest caster of all time can be just put to bed.
I thought he was cool.
We can admit he exists. That's that. Alright, from here, let's so essentially with the massive amount of packet loss, Nip only really complained about it after the match ended. It was revealed, credit where credit's due, it was revealed that Flashpoint were the ones who were blocking the packets. There's literally nothing Nip could have done. But because they were requesting it after the match had already been played, and in the server they'd said that it's cleared up in map 3, they're requesting to replay map 3, which is the only map which Nip have, they on record going, yo, we think it's alright now. Granted, it wasn't, and they should have found a way to pause the game and either reschedule it from there before the game had been finished or after. No, we got a little teddy.
Aww.
Cat. There's a cat.
It doesn't look like it wants to be there.
He's got his head in my shoulder. Let me go.
All right, he's gone. He's gone.
Sorry.
And so the other thing was that Anonymo afterwards went, why should we play a rematch when we've already won? And they scheduled it for yesterday, and because both teams are still arguing over it, hasn't been played. No one knows what's happening. Anonymo calling for an announcement from Valve, and that's about it. We don't know who's winning.
Oh yeah, one fact more is Flashpoint went out publicly and then they deleted it afterwards. But they said that Anonymo could choose between playing the last map or play the full best of 3 again.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Like they left the choice to NIP and Anonymo to decide between them what they want to do, or was it? Or they left the choice to Anonymo to decide.
Yeah.
But wasn't that NIP that told them that?
No, they phrased it like we like something like in the area of like we agreed with NIP that you can choose between the last map or a best of 3. Like that's the message that got sent to Anonymo basically.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
As someone that plays CS not very well and not very often, I've got no clue what the hell we're on about it. you're spitting up numbers. It's just confusing me in my brain.
Sit there and look pretty.
I can do that.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I'm here for the car stories, to be honest. That's what I was. I'm here. I'm here to hear about
there's
it.
gonna be more. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
but about like this whole ordeal, like I guess what most people are thinking about should Flashpoint be responsible for such big events like this, right? I think that's what many people were thinking because the admin position seemed to make flawed decisions. Now, I'm not saying that I'm clever enough to make the decisions on time, but like clearly there was a lot of backlash on those decisions. So yeah, like what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? Should Flashpoint be able to do this? Was this a mistake of the admin team that is something that could be fixed, or is it something that they need to look past now and make sure it never happens again? What's kind of view on it?
You want to start, Kremer?
Yeah, I think the match should have already been played. I think Anonymo and fair and square. It's on Nip for not fixing it while they were in the server.
Hey.
And it's also it's actually mainly on Flashpoint for not saying while they were in the server to go, yo, bring one of your guys into the PC room.
All right.
And then fix it from there.
Who are ninjas in pajamas? And if they've been in their pajamas for so many years, why are they not in bed yet? It's my question.
What? You've just gone in, going to the toilet, and you throw this bombshell of like,
To that.
yeah, oh fuck it. You know what? Screw it. Drink. Take your shit off.
I can drink to that.
Stop like sucking off the
Stop trying to
bottle.
recover your beer. And
Stop sucking off the bottle and
Mate,
take the shit. Right.
Mate, that's directly to a fucking clips channel, honestly.
Who is
Oh mate.
ninjas and why is they wearing their pajamas?
Yeah.
It's clearly they have no intention of going to bed.
Okay.
what if they've just woken up?
Yeah, what if they? Yeah, but to be fair, from someone that doesn't play CS a lot, what if they're just comfortable in the clothes? That's the most comfortable they are when playing CS in their pajamas. And they're ninjas, you know. They sneak around the maps, you know. They get the sneaky kills with the silence
Just having a
guns.
fucking revelation right now.
Who's to say that they aren't simultaneously in bed and also shooting people in Counter-Strike? Because they're
Exactly.
ninjas, they could be two places at the same time.
Exactly. He's got a point,
I
John.
don't believe this.
No, you've been spoiled. You just spoiled his idea. That
I'm
is
sorry, mate.
incredible.
Oh, I'm
You've
sorry,
taken
mate.
this fuckery to the next level.
But
incredible.
just to get back on subject, I totally agree with Kremer. Once the match is played out, that's the result, and then you cannot replay it ever.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
not an option. I mean, Nip just has to take it from the lower bracket when they don't react while it's happening on the server. Like they are bitching and fucking flaming both Faceit and Flashpoint admins about this shit, and it's just stupid to do it afterwards because they can't really get any real like solutions out of it because
Right.
it should never be an option to have it being replayed ever.
Right.
The result should stand because this is like a power move from NIP with like their fans going against Flashpoint and going like hitting them and making like crazy bad statements about both Flashpoint and saying, you know, they shouldn't be in major contention or at least implying so, right? Which like both ruins the business of Flashpoint in a sense, but also just like makes this entire fan base attack Flashpoint and might even make it so they don't get a major spot again in the future.
But in the end, it spoiled them greatly. The fact, like, it spoiled them more. The fact that they did allow them to exploit them in a way.
But then again, if you role reverse it, and Anonymo has this problem, and they do this on Twitter, it's never gonna happen. Then Nash is never gonna get replayed, right?
I mean, that's kind of an argument I never got. I understand where you're coming from. That's the kind of an argument I saw on Twitter and said the what if statement. You know, that's something I can't really get behind because you never know what would happen in that what if. But I get what you're saying. Like NIP, the fact that they're such a massive org, the fact that they've got such a big history in the CS scene, they've got so many fans, they had more leverage over them, which I do get. But yeah.
It's a definite power move. I mean, you have fucking Astralis, the Cristiano Ronaldo signing of CS. You know, everything's been booming about it the last weeks, you know, and then suddenly he's out complaining on Twitter and being more vocal than he has been, like, in most of his time in Astralis, right? About this server stuff, you know, it's just not a bad sign.
Yeah, completely get that.
On a real note, though, like I completely agree. The fact is the if it was the other way round, statement doesn't really matter all too much. Whatever needs to happen during the game.
Yeah.
If there needs to be a pause, if there needs to be a server reset, blah, 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 it needs to happen during the game. Once the game has finished, if you have lost the game, that's it. There's no coming back from that. I think that in any scenario, even if it is unjust, if you lose the game, that's it. You can't come back from the game and say, oh, we need to replay it, blah, 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 blah. That's not okay. Because the reality is if NIP had won that game, which they came very close to doing, let's say, even if they were on packet loss, they came very close to doing, even if they'd have won that game, they wouldn't have wanted to replay it. They'd have said, oh, we won. So that's fine. Yeah?
Yeah.
So after the game's finished, there's nothing you can do. The most leverage you have is during the game. And if during the game you call a pause and you say, we refuse to play until we go onto new servers, that's okay, that's fine. Go onto new servers, play the game fairly. I agree with that. But if you play on whilst on packet loss and then you lose, that's your own problem. And if that happens, then even if it's unjust, even if it's unfair, you've made that mistake and that's the end of the game. You can't call for a rematch because it's after it's happened. And Anonymo have already had their drinks. They've already had their victory. Like, it's not fair to take that away from them.
I can get behind that.
Regardless of what's happened, they've won the match.
Yeah.
Now, also the fact, like, they made a miracle, winning the match, right? So now you're asking them to make a miracle again, to keep what they already have won. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, why? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. When's the rematch, by the way?
They haven't.
They haven't said. They said it was going to be yesterday, but then they changed it again or something like that.
That's what Kremer said. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think Anonymo should refuse to do the rematch. I think the rematch is.
Yeah.
I agree. They should stand up. I mean, and then it would be nice to have a player association who could, do something against this.
Although, imagine the viewership during that game.
Oh yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah, but that only benefits Flashpoint. That doesn't benefit either of the teams.
I know. So Flashpoint isn't really going to give them the choice. I mean, no. Flashpoint is going to sort of nudge them to get in to play that game, right? Yeah. Not sure if they're actually going to do that, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should definitely do sit out, fucking who was it? Was it Mousebots with Chris J back in Blast?
Ah, yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Good times.
So before we start these, we usually have topic lists. I've completely forgot what I put on it. What's next on our topic list?
There was something about Lance returning.
I've got a whole load of those.
Lance stories. Okay.
Lance, and Lance returning, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah, I long for Lance return. Oh, we've actually got someone who's chimed in. XC Machine from BG Stars Agora. He said it's all about the respect between teams. If you don't give the rematch and just deny the opposing team getting their match up in order to start the score between them. Of course, outside the tournament, if they prove to be honourable as they are, they should give a rematch, I believe. Here's the thing. I feel like the damage has been done. Like, 2 of those maps were playable for them. So the 2 of those. Thank you for the subscription.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah. For the remaining teams, it's very Why do you put your head in your hands, Josh?
Because Ollie's subbing to the channel he's on.
I'm a guest. I've got paid to be here. That's how this works.
All right, go on.
It's pay to win, isn't it?
A pay to win podcast.
Right, for context, Ollie just subbed to the channel that we're streaming at.
Yeah, it's great. What more do you want me to do? I'm supporting the channel that I'm being on.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
Keep talking.
He's paid more for the remaining minutes unlocked.
Yeah, again you have to sub.
No, Land's coming back. God, I want Land to come back soon.
I wish. Land stories.
Oh, I have a fun one.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I went to Copenhagen Games, the biggest one in Denmark, and I took the train from Northern Jutland all the way to Copenhagen. It's like a 4-hour train ride, and I was packing my PC and my I had everything with me, right? And I could barely have it on me, and then my PC was in a separate it was separate. Like I couldn't have it with me, so I had to walk twice, like from my apartment to the train station, and twice when I had to go out. So when I had to walk from the stadium, or from where the train stopped in Copenhagen, all onto Lokomotivværket, which is what's it called down in Copenhagen where they held it. I had to like carry it twice, you know. So on my way down there, right, I met these two Irish fellas who were casting for Team Fortress 2. And they had this, like, if you didn't know, Copenhagen Games is one of the two biggest events in Team Fortress 2 during the entire year. So it's basically like a major for them. So they had all this cool production setup. Anyway, so I meet those guys when I'm on my way down there, and they fucking help me, like, package it up and, you know, lift it with me all the way down there. And
That's nice.
Yeah, and it was like 2 kilometers, like, 1.4 miles or something. They just walked with me. Yeah, and then afterwards, you know, every Copenhagen Games ends Saturday, so there's like an after party Saturday night, and we just hang out, and it was amazing, like wholesome. Shout out to those guys, yeah, honestly.
We've got one from someone in the chat. This is from Louis. He said he was competing at the time in Insomnia, very big event in the UK, and he said, I made my team get a stand-in because I spent 2 hours building up the courage to ask people for shampoo because we forgot ours. I asked one guy, he said yes, went out in the shower and didn't give me his fucking shampoo.
That's such an Insomnia moment. You walk into the showers, you've forgotten everything but your towel, and you're like, fuck. So what do I do? What do I do here? And there's someone showering next to you, and you're like, look, dude, I've got nothing. I've got my towel.
I'm a guy, you're
a guy. We all stink here, you know. Please can I borrow a shampoo? He's like, yeah, of course, you know. Let me finish. And then he just walks out the door, and you're like, hello? Is anyone there? And there's anyone there? And it's like, hello? It's people in Insomnia. There's quite a lot of people in Insomnia. It's a great event. But the shampoo is deodorant. They get the Lynx Axe body spray, and they just sit there in their tent, and you just hear the for a solid 3-4 minutes. You're like, what? Are you eating it? Are you trying to consume it or something? Like
in Denmark, right? We call them trucker showers. So that's all they basically do is just fucking trucker showering. You know, deos all over instead of showering.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I've been in Louis' position where I've been in a shower cubicle for a good hour and a half because I've forgotten everything but the towel, and I've just been waiting for people to come in and be like, "Hello, you're alright? How you doing?" You got to try and start up a conversation, and then you got to be like, you got to insert the "Can I borrow your shampoo, please?" and then some people just don't talk to you, and it's like, I get it. You know, it's Insomnia. Everyone's weird here.
That's why you got to get an access to man. One time we camped. Do you remember that kid that was right? So the one time we camped, do you remember we used your tent?
Yeah.
And we used the blow-up bed that you had. Basically, the blow-up bed you had was really high. So the blow-up bed was like this high, and then the tent was like this high. Basically, the bed didn't fit in the tent. Long story short, so it wouldn't fit in a tent. So we just had to sleep on blow-up bed in the open. And there was this guy opposite us that was legit T-posing on like a tent. He was just sat there T-posing like this.
To the arm in the face.
And yeah, it was good. We've been to too many lands, and we've done very bad at all of them.
We've done what? We've done about 4 epics, both of us, and we've done another 3 Insomnias. Yeah, about that, and most of the time we've fucked up camping every single time.
Every now and again we get kicked out.
Mate,
Again we get too drunk and then get kicked out.
But this year, you know, I'm hoping that this year brings fortune of luck, where obviously events are starting to happen again with COVID restrictions and all of that, and a lot of music events are happening. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that like Reading and all of that. I'm hoping Insomnia starts to come back. Maybe this year in August. And don't get kicked out.
Oh,
I mean, this year I've upgraded. You know, I've booked myself in the Gen. Is it the Gen thing? The one in the casino. Yeah. Okay. I've booked myself in a nice double bed in the Genting, the one above the casino. You know, I've upgraded myself from an air bed in one of the fucking halls.
Right. So we've got breaking news in as of 1 minute ago. 6 rockets launched from Lebanon towards northern Israel. All of them landed in Lebanese territory, but the premise was still there.
Jeez.
Yikes! I've got friends in northern
We're
Israel.
talking about happy times here, Kremer.
I've got friends in like the most northern city of Israel.
That is
Yikes.
Yikes! Thank fuck those rockets missed.
Oh yeah.
Thank fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong. They probably have a good anti-rocket system over in northern Israel as well. But still,
Yeah. That is actually scary.
like I was there. I was in northern Israel. So like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
So it basically makes me a victim. No, I'm joking.
someone commented this sounds like an Arsenal transfer window.
Oh, I've just read. I've completely changing the subject here.
Mate,
Just trying to-
another banger from your brother.
What a
honestly.
comment!
I'm
What a
impressed
comment!
with the graphics cards. I'm quite in with all of this.
Honestly, is though.
A bit of news is that the 30 series are just going to be completely wiped out as a graphics card that's going to be even possible to get hold of. I'm in a few restock servers myself. I get a ping, and 5 minutes later, everything's gone. Amazon, overclockers, Scan, all the websites, they're all just being depleted by people that are mining because of the fact that it's the new GPU architecture, and they're just being able to completely like ramp up what they're mining. It's ridiculous. What are you laughing at?
Someone commented, "I hope the lesbians are okay. It's almost Pride Month."
Priorities. Oh Jesus Christ.
So here's the platform. 3090, 3080, completely worthless for your money, yeah? You're spending 800, you're spending nearly $1,000 to $2,000 on a graphics card that, okay, you might be getting next gen performance on it, yeah, but you might as well be going for 3060, 3070 because they've got 12 gigs and 8 gigs of VRAM still, yeah? You'll still be able to get an editing performance, you'll still be able to get the gaming performance from it and you're paying 600 to 800, yeah, which is still a crazy amount for like a 3070, yeah? Considering the fact that a few years ago, Lebanon scored it.
Oh my god.
The comment reads, explain in football terms, Lebanon scored an own goal. Oh,
Imagine not having the capability of launching rockets into other people's territory.
oh man.
Jeez.
Sinking.
Jeez.
On fire.
Jeez. God damn.
Oh man.
That's actually insane.
How did we end up talking about GPUs?
There was one in the chat, I think. Some time ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad how people that have no idea what they're doing keep buying video cards. Yeah, it's
Truth.
fucking awful, Annie.
Yeah.
It actually is.
Truth.
Honestly, like,
Oh yeah, I heard like a statistic. I don't remember if it was and again, this is like totally paraphrasing, and I do not know. I have not checked the sources, but it was something along the lines of it was 2% or 8% of the world's electricity that is being used to mine Bitcoin.
that's actually nuts.
Yeah.
People are saying the market won't get better until mid 2022. I completely agree with that, Annie.
Yeah.
Interesting thought, and it comes off of that. You might be better off buying gaming laptops
No joke.
if you want to buy a PC, because the
honestly.
GPUs for laptops are cheaper.
Honestly, though, Mantra, if you're after a decent graphics card, even a like, if you're on a budget, even a 1080 ain't too bad.
Mate,
Like,
I have a 1060 and I'm struggling, but a 1080 would fix mine.
Yeah, but how old is it? Because it matters how old it is as well.
Mine is like 5 years old.
You're very
Yeah,
lucky.
see? Yeah, no, like 5 years old is like shit. No,
Yeah.
if you bought a new 1080, it'd perform a lot better than the 5-year-old 1080.
Oh, I have a 1060 right now. I want a 1080.
I mean 1060. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Josh with the fucking looks.
To explain how my CGI lecturer admitted his PC wasn't working as well because he was mining Bitcoin during the
Right, so I think from the news that I've heard in the grapevine is that you've got Elon Musk about to sell his billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that he's invested in, which is going to completely flood the market, and kill Bitcoin and probably like kill it to about 10 grand a Bitcoin, which is incredible because we haven't seen that since early 2018, late 2017. And then we've got Ethereum mining becoming less and less profitable as it starts to reach its market cap in trading and all that. So I think we're going to see a massive dip in all of the kind of cryptocurrencies. And then you've got a meme of a coin, Dogecoin. I think we've all definitely had some experience with it, absolute meme, which Elon Musk is trying to just kind of slowly push up there a little bit, trying to get that market value a little bit above the dollar, because he's obviously got millions of Dogecoin between him, which is ridiculous. And no, it's incredible it's incredible to just watch market manipulation to the extreme,
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, have you stolen my beer?
So said, why is Ollie talking like he knows the stock market?
Oh, mate, I just thought about
I
this.
know nothing about it, so like I couldn't say.
I just,
little emu. I know more than you think I do. That's how we're gonna sit here,
Honestly, I just thought about this. Elon Musk, right? What he's doing right now, he is doing.
I know more than you think.
You're a spaz.
You know how real life. No, you know how in World of Warcraft you can flip the auction house, right? That's what he's doing right now in real life with the cryptocurrency.
Yeah. I feel like we had that discussion the last Dinked episode.
Oh, well.
Or am I having a deja vu? Like kind of like a
maybe,
thing that never happened.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember because I was quite drunk.
Fair enough.
Ollie needs to admit that he doesn't know shit.
Ollie, you need to admit you don't know shit.
About what?
The stock market.
I don't know about the stock
Bro,
market.
admit that you don't know shit. You don't know shit about the stock market. Admit that your advice is polarized because you don't know shit about the stock market. You really can't.
I don't as much as other people, but of course I'm going to listen to what a lot of experts say.
Bro,
so I'm just going off what experts say.
About the stock market. You don't know shit. Bring it in. What you doing? You don't know shit about the stock market.
Right now, honestly, right? I'm getting some kind of boy band vibe from fucking Josh's looks, with his glasses and everything.
Yes.
Like some kind of Backstreet Boys. I want it that way, kind of looks.
I get more of an anime character vibe.
Oh yeah, like a villain, right? An
An anime villain. Yeah.
Yeah, antagonist. Anime antagonist. Yeah. Especially with like the black overall. Oh,
Yes,
shirt he's
external.
on.
EmenJay is fucking drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never made it.
I mean, they got a head start on us.
Oh, he's drunk. Yes,
Just admit that you don't know shit. Stop. Ollie, bro. Just admit. Please.
Ugh.
Just admit it. Just admit it.
Can you guys help me here? Can we just all go?
There's only 7 people watching. Ollie, it's okay. You're okay.
Stroking me.
What
Ollie,
the fuck?
it's okay. You're okay.
Stop stroking me.
Well, it's okay to not know shit.
Ollie, you're okay.
It's
It's okay to admit.
It's
It's okay to admit you don't know anything about the stock market.
I'm a decent enough problem.
Someone that reeks of testosterone. That's...
Why are you stroking me like I'm your boyfriend?
You never made any
Help
profit
me.
in the stock market. Admit that you
Look
never
at
made
that.
shit.
Mate,
Bro.
Louis, dude. He can actually bench me, yeah.
such an apple there, like, I think all that brings testosterone. It's Josh. He can actually bench me. Look at that big belly. Oh, Josh, show me a big belly arm.
It's me, bro. It's me.
Look at that. Look at that chicken stick. I'm trying to touch my fucking hand. Man.
Oh, please, yeah.
All nothing to admit.
All you can't do is admit that you've never made a penny.
It's an incredible threesome these guys later, so trust me, it's like really good.
Solid.
I'm not so good as well. Follow other.
Any money in the stock market.
Lads. Do you have any more land stories? We kind of got off topic.
You've never made anything.
I mean, I haven't actually experienced a proper LAN because Cyprus never had a proper LAN. We have like mini LANs and stuff, but none of them like to the extent of Insomnia or the Copenhagen one you experienced. Like all of them were mini. So I guess like things won't get as wild as that.
Oh man, I'm thinking, you know, back in like 2018, 2019, when you know, DreamHack, they had like the DreamHack lands where all the Twitch streamers also gathered. I mean, dude, I wanted to be at those lands so bad, honestly.
I bet, yeah.
God damn. But yeah, I mean, like at Copenhagen Games, it's fucking amazing. You know, it's just this big fucking giant hall. You know, it's like a place where they beforehand used to have trains stationed in there, old trains, and it was the old like station for trains, train passaging and everything. You know, and that entire thing they just turned it into a big esport event. And they have like booths and lands and expos, and they have like BYOC lands, like competition, right? And then those guys can qualify to the main event where main teams are. You know, in 2018, Gambit won it. You know, with fucking what's he called? The guy who was there before Hobbit. What's he called? The
guy that was before Hobbit. Oh
Yeah.
man, I forgot. Oh, Insta Liquipedia mode.
Yeah. I forgot.
Stop! There's no violence allowed on Twitch. Physical violence is not
It
allowed.
was.
Stop!
Wait, it was Xoma.
Yeah. So when he played, when he played there, they won the event back in 2018.
Yeah.
And you know they are still together. You know, the 4-man core. It's fucking incredible. You know.
You're gonna sit down and calm down. Sit.
And it was like
Yeah,
what,
damn.
100,000 Danish kroner. So what's that? Like 11k pounds? Like
That's not bad.
15, 16, 18k euros. Thereabout. So, you know, for first place. Dude.
Right. There's a whole fist fight going on. With like, there's a fight around a cap. We're like talking about lands, and meanwhile, all that thing is happening over there.
I mean, honestly, like Huey, Dewey, and Louie can keep to themselves over there in Britain, and then we can, you know.
we get the real talk done.
Yeah. While they're fighting amongst themselves of who should have the fucking cap. Yeah. No cap.
More.
Oh man. Oh, should we drink? I feel like
We're drinking to
that's
Josh
true.
leaving the room. That's how this works.
May, the thing behind you, Ollie,
We're out.
the thing behind you is fucking falling down.
You guys just dropped the phone.
We're fine.
Josh isn't
Fine.
gonna be happy.
Everything's okay.
Just fighting over a cap over here, you know,
Fine.
ruining the phone wall and all that.
I love how a nice calm stream turns into Josh just trying to physically abuse me. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
Do I need rescuing? No, I quite enjoy sitting amongst the sexual tension, to be honest with you. Right.
There is what Josh has.
A lot of
That's
sexual
right.
tension.
So in my car, there's a gap between. In my car, there's a gap between the bottom half of the seat and the backrest. And whilst I was driving home today, we went.
We're doing about 30 as well. It's like not a speed you want to have.
The speed you want to have, yeah. I'm doing about 30, and Josh just decides to stick his hand between the gap and try and finger my bum out. Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Alright.
I thought exactly the same thing. I was like, Josh, lad, I'm like standing one hand on the steering wheel, like another hand behind my back, just trying to stop his hand from getting to the gap. I'm like, Josh, please, I don't want to crash today. We're nearly home, please.
Oh god.
And then he like takes his hand out and starts sticking his foot through. I'm like, please, I'm just trying to drive. I'm just trying to get home.
He practically undresses you with dreamy enchant, guys, and the soft words that give me your fucking hand.
Alright, so
Yeah.
we've gone on a full circle. We're now back to the driving story.
It's stunning.
Oh, yeah, peaceful.
all planned.
Yeah, scripted.
Oh.
Scripted.
Right, I think we were at the time. Are we drunk enough? Oh, sorry.
It's you drinking.
I think we were at the time.
We're out of time.
We
All
can
right.
talk about Israel and
Oh
Palestine.
Jesus!
All right. Okay.
So, what's everyone's thoughts on Israel versus Palestine?
I'd like
I-
you guys to go first.
I mean, honestly, it's like a common subject at this point. I think
Someone
we.
should connect your beer.
I
No,
think
I
we've
forget about
talked
that.
about it every single podcast.
No. We spoke about Armenia and
Afghan-
Afghanistan in the last
yeah,
one.
and
That
Afghanistan.
was like.
the
Do you
first
want
one.
to do it? All right, we'll do it similar. All right, we'll do it this one as well. Okay, right.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus
I
Christ!
In the left corner, we've got Israel standing firm, pretty much alone at this point, with the help of America. In the right corner, we've got essentially Hamas and a few other, a few other kind of standout states, including Lebanon. Turkey will come in as well because they hate the Israelis, and pretty much every single person who doesn't like Israel, which actually at this stage in time, quite a few. Even the soundproofing doesn't like Israel. We mention it and just whomp.
God.
Yeah. So anyway, essentially what's happened is Hamas or Israel, they were at some church and the Israelis went, I don't like that church. And so essentially some Israeli commander said to his insubordinate, you see that church? I don't like it. His insubordinate went, affirmative, sir, and flattened the whole thing. His commander went, what the fuck? I just meant change the channel, rather than fucking level the place. I'm not sure. That's what I assume is happening in mission control.
I thought you heard something like that.
Yeah.
Go on, but
And
that
so-
is hysterical.
And so the response from Hamas is to just launch continuous rockets over into Israel, setting off the Iron Dome, which is essentially just a massive kind of network of missile silos which launch counter missiles at missiles. It's kind of like Russian roulette but with fireworks essentially. That's essentially the Iron Dome. And right now it's just turning. It's usually because they've done this to each other for a very long time. This is the first time in that long time where it actually could blow up into something a bit more. While we were on the stream, found out Lebanon have been kind of chiming in as well, going, actually, I don't like Israel either. Of course, even if like there's some small graffiti in Tel Aviv, the Israeli army storms up to Beirut and sacks the place. That's kind of the consensus. So now Lebanon, sick of being, you know what, you guys just continue. I'm just gonna neck my beer. Give me a sec.
Christ. Madman.
Oh, did you give it all to me?
I don't know.
What? I don't know.
Didn't quite hear the end.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, continue. Yeah. Go
Continue, yeah.
on. Go on, Pablo.
Wait, me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I
take it.
continue. Well, you know, it's an interesting situation because like everybody has hated. Well, the surrounding countries around Israel have hated Israel, and I completely get why they hate Israel, but at the same time, you know, you kind of get why Israel wants to be there, and like this whole deal, colonialism, British Empire, post Second World War, all that whole shebang was like for as long as I remember, that like piece of land has been contested, right? It's in the Bible, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to actually conclude to an actual opinion, I'll get to that, to how I feel about the whole situation. But if you want me to throw shade at the whole area, I'd say, you know, a friend just mentioned this whole thing, and please take this with a pinch of salt. Just blow the whole thing up to get out of the whole situation. Nobody gets it. Nobody can take the place. No, but like on a memorial note, you know, the longer you take so Peter just mentioned, let's stop the line at where they were looking to shut down a church by throwing rockets at them or a drone, whatever it was, and then the Palestinians reacted. Before that, there was like, I don't know, during the Ramadan, the post-Ramadan celebrations near Palestine, like people were throwing rocks at the Israeli police. Before that, the Israeli police were being very brutal with them and whatnot, and before that, the Palestinians had there were some terrorists that were like bombarding various areas in Israel. Before that, Israel was occupying land from Palestine. Before that, so it was like a big back and forth, right? So wherever you stop the line, you're like, okay, who did the last move? Oh, it's their fault, you know? But you know what? I think it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, you know, it's always going to be complicated. Like, There's always going to be dispute over the wait. If Kremer3 is AFK, then the stream is AFK, and I've been talking for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's Oh, rip.